Good day, everybody. Dave Hopkins here for Hopper on Hockey. This is the broadcast you see on YouTube periodically, and it is basically an unbiased look at everything Toronto Maple Leafs, including the first two games that we've now witnessed. I'm joined by my buddy, Glenn Calloway, and
Hopper.
I call him Glenny. We've known each other for eons, and want to cover a couple of things today. Obviously, the beginning of the season, we did the sort of preview and the waiver wire and all that stuff last time, but now we want to be able to look into the future a little bit with a little bit of review, including games 1 and 2 in Montreal, and then home last night, the Thursday in Toronto. So let's go, Glenn. You were saying you were a very happy camper after game 1 in Montreal.
I'm glad we didn't record this right after the game. I was livid. I thought, what a poor effort for a season opener. Just after all the talk through training camp all summer, we learn from our mistakes and we move on and we can't dwell on the past and we're going to be better. We're going to learn from all, the errors we made, and then come out and play exactly the same way you've been playing for the last 6 years and show us exactly why you have no success in the playoffs.
If that kind of showing is game 1 of April 10th, first playoff game, we're dead meat for sure. And their coach tore a strip off as well, Sheldon Keefe, calling it unacceptable after that. It was a piss poor performance, let's face it.
Yeah. There's, a lot of pundits are saying, it was too early for Sheldon to play those cards, but in my opinion, I thought it was deserved and necessary to wake him up a little bit and say, hey, this isn't the way this season. I'm going to demand more from you.
Yeah. And we'll get to the goalies in a second, but let's first do a little analysis on last night's game. An improvement, skating was better, moving the puck better, that sort of thing.
Yeah, just the compete level was better.
Indeed.
Even if you make a mistake, there's a big difference between making a mistake because you're lazy and slow than making a mistake because you're putting the effort in and making a human error.
And Washington, they were motivated as well. They got their ass kicked at home.
Yeah.
Boston the night before. So, they weren't slacking. It was a pretty good game back and forth.
I thought it was too. I thought both teams competed.
Sloppy on passes and some of the breakouts and that sort of thing. But that's early. You can put that down to that. So, and nice goal by, I didn't see it at first, the Matthews winning goal. I thought he, and then juggled it and went back over his shoulder and we win. So.
Yeah, at first it looked like Giordano scored it, and then when you see it, he just touched it.
Just barely. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's skill for you. That's how you get 60 goals, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to goaltending. We're going to have to start with the big tall guy, 6'5" Matt Murray in the game in Montreal on Wednesday night.
Oh, man, I don't know. You could make an argument for that the team didn't give him much support, but man, he let some bad goals, and that guy's got something. His weakness, supposedly, like the whole league knows it, is just shoot high.
Yeah, obviously, and everything up over his left shoulder too. 3 of the 4 goals up over his left shoulder, like there was a just invite me sign there.
He doesn't look confident to me. He looks very like he moves a lot. He's not you see the goalies, they just stand there like statues and they move at the right time. It's fluid and
I
look like
agree.
one of those guys.
Yeah, I agree. I was really concerned about especially the second Caulfield goal. First of all, the defense left him out to dry for sure, but and then bing, it's upstairs and Murray's going, wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We'll see. I was not impressed with the first game, and if you let in 4 goals on 23 shots, that's not a good performance. That's an 8. What the goalie average? 8.8 something? Not good.
And it's not like they were all over us at 23 shots.
No.
So the new guy, I mentioned it quite a few times in my blog there last night about the new guy, 25-year-old Samsonov. Washington turned their back on him,
Hmm.
didn't offer him a contract. So the guy has got to be motivated, right?
Yeah, we got him for pretty much free. So
1 year deal.
yeah.
You made a nice save right off the bat.
Hmm.
Kind of snared one right off the bat there. That's I guess it was their second goal. They only scored two, I guess. So the second goal went in his armpit.
Yeah.
That scares me a little bit. But
Yeah, he let in. Yeah, I don't think the goals he let. That's what the one went through his leg, I think, didn't it? What didn't the one go through his legs?
yeah,
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 I don't know. Yeah, I thought, but overall, I thought he played a pretty solid game, and I just
yeah,
when I'm watching him, he seemed like he was confident in the net to me, like he was standing up
yeah,
to the shooters, and I was much more impressed with him than I was with Murray. So
yeah. And he's not a pardon the pun, but he's a stand-up guy. He seems
yeah,
to be able to get square to the puck and
hmm,
just let it hit him. That's all Murray has to
yeah,
do, in my view.
yeah.
So moving forward, the big question for everyone, including Coach Keefe, is who's going to get the start at home. They get 3 more games at home in a row here now. Who's going to start in net on Saturday night versus Ottawa?
If I'm the coach, it's Samsonov, but um, there's a when you listen to them talk, Dubas and Keefe and that they seem to promote Murray as number one and Samsonov as
Correct.
1B. And I think that's got a lot to do with the contracts. They signed Murray they're paying him $4 million a year,
Yeah,
and they're paying
and they're
Samsonov what 900,000 or something.
I think 950 or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So did
guess
that have
they.
something to do with the decision? Does Dubas go to Keefe and say you're making me look like a chump here if you don't play Murray?
Well, the only strong argument for Murray is that it was Ottawa that kicked him out the door.
Yeah.
And, it is at home. He hasn't got a home start yet. You know, can he redeem himself? He is the four, he's the 1A, I guess,
Hmm.
in the pecking order, it would seem. So that is a tough one, a real tough
Yeah.
one.
Who would you go with?
I think I would go with Murray
Yeah,
for those very reasons. And
I think
you
you're
know,
right. I think that's what they're going to do.
yeah,
But because I think it's too early in the year to create that
yeah,
battle.
yeah.
But
The
I think
goalie controversy
they're going to give them both a fair shot. But I would go with Samsonov. But hey,
yeah. So
go with
far,
the guy that won.
Samsonov appears to be
Yeah,
the better of the two. But like you say, early. We're
yeah,
going to say that 9 million times in the next week or so.
yeah.
It's a
I'm a little
small
concerned
sample size.
about what'll happen on Saturday night because I think Ottawa will have watched that Montreal game and they'll play with the same
Yeah,
enthusiasm, let's say, that Montreal played with, and they're the teams that Leafs can't seem to beat
yeah.
when teams just really skate hard at them. Even though the
Well,
Leafs are supposed to be a fast team, they always look slower against those young, hungry teams that aren't playoff teams.
and the Senators, got their butts kicked 4-1 in Buffalo last night, so that's going to
Yeah,
add some motivation.
yeah,
The Ontario rivalry and all that stuff. You shouldn't really have to get up for that
no,
game against those two opponents, especially Ottawa, having to prove something
yeah,
this year, having added DeBrincat and
hmm,
Giroux and a couple of
yeah.
new goalies and all that.
Where is the game? Is it in Toronto or Ottawa?
In Toronto, yeah.
Okay.
Next three,
Oh,
they have the next 3 games in Toronto.
okay.
So hopefully some time to work on breakouts, power play.
Hmm.
That power play was a little better last night. And
Yeah, they had two goals.
especially that first one.
Yeah, beautiful.
Tavares just standing there,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
the side of the net. I mean, they threw it around. I think they had 5 shots on net in that particular power play. So,
Hmm.
good signs there. I mean, how could you go wrong with those 5 guys on the ice?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they had the number one power play in the league last year, so I'm
Okay.
assuming they're not going to have issues with the power play.
Any other? I've got a little assignment for you and our viewers, which we'll end the show with. But any other big surprises from you in the first? I don't know. I think everybody's played at least one game now. Philly winning.
think. Yeah, Philly. Yeah, no kidding. Eh?
They beat New Jersey, and that's not great, but
Well, New Jersey's an up and coming team. I mean, they've got
yeah,
some talent on that team. Yeah, no, not that I see. I mean,
yeah. Okay, so here's the assignment, Glenn, before we sign off. And I don't know if you want to take notes with this, people at home, and for you, Glenn, as well. But it's as you know, there's his pen. Okay, so as you know,
and it's blue, Dave.
ah,
Toronto Maple Leaf blue.
beauty. The way the league is splitting out to me, anyways, is in three distinct tiers. You have a top 10 tier, sort of a middle of the road, teams that are just about to move up and some that are just about to move down. And then your bottom feeders, your Arizona, Chicago, that sort of thing. So what I'd like you to do for the next time we're on the air here is to give me your top 10, Colorado, Leafs, whoever, the top 10 in the league, both divisions. In other words, Stanley Cup contenders. Then we're going to drop down. It doesn't divide evenly, so we'll go with 11 middling teams. Does Boston drop down to that category? That sort of thing. Does Buffalo move up into that middling category? And then easy enough to find the bottom 11 teams. Again, these would be the serious rebuilding teams. What are they calling it? What's that kid from out west? Colin Bedard, is it?
I'll call him Bedard.
Bedard.
Yeah,
Bedard. The Bedard sweepstakes group.
Yeah.
So give me, who you think fits into that category. They're either, pretty much hopeless or just starting to rebuild. And there's enough of them around.
If you would have asked me before Wednesday night, I would have put Montreal in that group.
Yes.
But the Leafs made them look like they're going to be in the top 10.
What it's an interesting exercise that I did it yesterday. It's an interesting exercise to who you think are going to line up where. So that's it for this broadcast of Hopper on Hockey. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to my buddy Glennie for his input as always. We'll be on the air again next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. So look for us. I do send notes out to everybody on Facebook and in Instagram, and I'd even do it on LinkedIn. So and look for my blog also immediately following the game, Hopper on Hockey. That's my blog site, hopperonhockey.ca. Thanks again for viewing. We'll see you soon. End. Okay, we're out.
We're gone. We're good.
Well, it was shorter, but the first one was 20.